I would just check the turn. If I had a heart in my hand, I may go for a double barrel because I'll block hands like Queen Six of Hearts or Queen Eight of Hearts or Queen Five of Hearts or Queen Seven of Hearts, which will continue. But the Queen Two, I believe I'm going to go for a check back. River, I'm contemplating potentially shoving. Uh, I feel like I have a bad suit to do with. I would want to block the queen free suited slow plays. So if I had queen two of clubs, let's say, I'd be more inclined to do it. I also don't block a six as well, which will probably block catch me like queen six suited. So yeah, if I had clubs or if I had spades, spades is probably the one I want to have. If I had spades, I would bluff, but with queen two, I'm just going to fold. I can't win, but yeah, ace five. It's fine. That's okay. I think this hand is a shove pre-flop. Ace five off. This is why I'm opening queen two because they won't shove like offsuit low aces, which are like pretty much snap shoves in my opinion. I've just shown down queen two off, which is something which is really bad for me because when I've shown down queen two off, people are going to be rejamming on me like motherfuckers. So I need to be a little bit tighter here with my roses. So I'm going to adjust quickly the next spot or the spot after. Like maybe they think I know that now, so they're going to play tighter the next time too. So there's lots of different ways where it can work around. Depends on who it is, what the situation is, what the positions are. I would change my strategy based on all of that stuff. Ace nine suited. I will go for a flat versus this open. If the big blind squeeze shoves, I will call. I think he'll shove hands, which I do well enough against. And yeah, I feel like this is a spot he'll probably take quite aggressively as a short stack. Five big blinds. If I do lose, it's not too terrible for me because I go down to 80 big blinds. He goes to 40. Like I'm still overwhelming chip leader. So yeah, it's a spot which I can definitely take as a gamble, I think. Uh, Although I wouldn't be loving it, don't get me wrong. I'm not thrilled, but it's fine. Thought about leading here, but there's no point. He won't fold ace 10. So I may lead like jack and nine of spades to fold out king jack. But ace nine of spades is not really doing much for me as a lead here. He may play check and big bet. Okay, checks, yeah. Don't think he's going to range bet this board, that's for sure. And over here, we have nine bigs to call off. It's fine. And we'll check the turn. Ah, big bet from him. We're going to go for a fold. Suspicious fold, let's say. Suspicious fold. Queen five off, I'm going to fold this time, I think, because I opened. Last time, I believe I'll get shoved on extremely wide, so a bit tighter this time. Am I sponsored by All Saints or something, by the way? Always seem to be having an All Saints hoodie on. They're so comfortable. Well, All Saints are watching, send me that sponsorship money. I'm here. I'm not the 6'5" model you want, but I wear it on poker YouTube and poker courses, that's for sure. 7-5 suited is going to be, like it's not a super attractive open because it doesn't have good blockers for people reshoving on me. Like King 2 off could be, if the big blind had like 20 big blinds, maybe like King 3 off could be a better open than 7-5 suited, just potentially in some lineups. But I still think 7-5 suited just makes it in. It's not a thrilling open. And I'm sure that if I am opening much wider than this, these guys can start shoving any two, etc. But I don't believe that'll happen. Like the ace five didn't get shoved on me versus queen two, stuff like that. So king two could work as a free bet bluff potentially versus the big blind versus the button. The button's going to want to open shove like five, sixes, sevens, eights, ace 10, ace jack. So he's going to have a polarized raising range. And the two is quite good because it's a reverse blocker. It doesn't have 7, 8, 9, 10 jack in it. So when he's raised folding like 8, 9 suited or jack 10 offsuit or whatever, the deuce kind of doesn't interact with any of those. It unblocks the block. So I would use this as a free bet bluff versus a button open. Versus small blind, I think also it's a hand which I'm going to use as a large ISO raise. Keeping up that aggressive dynamic for later on when we get free-handed and I maybe get paid off in a spot where range is going to be very value kind of heavy. 9-2, I'm going to let Giraffe Ganja win this one. 7-8 off, I will go for an open. I folded my last button. I folded my last small blind. Should get a little bit more respect than previously. And I'm obviously going to fold. This should be really strong because there's so much collision effect. When he folds, I'm going to open shove on these two guys. But when and they're going to call me quite wide. If I fold, they're going to shove on each other blind versus blind quite wide. So if he has like queen ten off, it's not going to be a great open. It's better to fold and make EV by us taking EV off each other. So yeah, I think it's a spot where he should be playing extremely tight. It's also a spot where I think he can use a larger raise size. If he uses a larger raise size, I'm less incentivized to flat. I don't have as much ICM on me, right? So I will be flat calling quite wide on the button. So he wants to use a larger raise size to deter me from calling. He also doesn't have a limpid range because you want to limp when you want to expand your range, not when you want to narrow your range. He wants to play tight and large rather than limp and wide. So yeah, Queen's here versus this Twist guy. He's kind of a funky character. Um, he's kind of a funky character, so I believe that uh, free betting here will be better than shoving. Against some people, shoving will be better, but he's the kind of guy who could maybe shove the ace five more than others. So I'm going to go for this free bet non all in. I believe with our dynamics, he could also expect me to take this spot with like ace eight offsuit, king five suited or something. I don't know, whatever he expects me to take bluffs with. Uh, I'm shallow enough here that I want to realize all my equity with king two, or not all my equity. I want to start realize equity with king two rather than folding. And queens were calling all in against ace queen, which I believe should call. It does very well versus my. It just makes me fold a hand which he has absolutely crushed. So yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that play by him. Ace two, I could get limp shoved on, and he will also be tighter because of the previous interactions. So I'm gonna go for a check, and uh, yeah, I'm, I can't re-enter this apparently. That was chip lead pot actually, kind of interesting. I think yeah, I think you should definitely just check. Gonna go for a lead here. I check all the flop. I believe I should lead range on this four. Ace two versus check. We're gonna check as well. He may have some raises, but we're a bit too shallow to have many raises, I think. On the two river, I'm gonna bet. I have a lot of 7-5, 7-8, random queen, ten of clubs, whatever. So I'm gonna go for a half pot bet. He bets the turn over bet. I'm just gonna let it go. He didn't shove king queen. That's interesting. That is interesting. 10-5 off blind versus blind. I'm gonna have a limp. Versus big blind, I believe I can probably range, but I want to have some checks here. I think I want to bet king queen. When he covers me, he's incentivized to play aggressively, like flush draws and stuff. So it means that I'm gonna be blown up hands with too much equity. So I do want to have some checks. I'm gonna check this ace queen because king X is gonna fast play more than it would do in chip EV. King jack suited here is tight, but I guess we fold. I'm going to bet flop here. Turn, I'm going to start betting. I believe King X would start blasting out the turn. 10 jacks, Queen X, flushes, lots of stuff can call me here. I believe this hand is just a fold. Is a check fold. I'm going to value shove the river, I think. I don't think you should have a better hand than me, really. And river here, I'm going to go for a bet. I believe I shove the nuts pretty often. He should be very dense around 7, so I'm going to go for a large bet. My kicker, like he never has ace 10, right? So my kicker plays with the jack, so he leads the river. I'm not sure what that's about, but we're not falling. Queen 5, wow. Okay. And we'll go for a raise. I'm expecting quite a lot of aggression from Giraffe, but I'm going to still open. We'll bet here on flop. I don't expect too much raises. If he does raise, I will continue with a flush draw, straight draw, pair draws, trip draws, etc., etc. Just want to fold out. King 10 off is good for me. Maybe there's some overfolding happening. Queen 5 suited, we're going to go for a raise and hopefully get it free. They're incentivized to play tight and wait for Giraffe to kind of blind down a bit. So yeah, it's good for me. Good situation for me. I should get a walk here somewhat frequently. This is not the hand you want to free bet fold. You want to free bet fold king twos, the king threes, the king fours. But yeah, I'm going to call, and I would check raise the flop, the jack of hearts, sometimes interacting. If I had a hand, yeah, this is a good one. 9-8 suited gets blocked. Jack of hearts would be an overcard, etc. But the jack of diamonds is just going to. The jack of diamonds also blocks some queen jack and ace jack of diamonds, which could bet call. So this is also an option. On the turn here, I'm going to just give up, I think. I don't have too great of a hand. If I had a heart, maybe I would go with it, or I believe I just want to play quite passive with this combo. I could sometimes improve, and this is a bet I'm not really too incentivized to do much raise, I don't think. So I'll let that one go. Queen Jack, I'm going to raise non all in against the big blind. I believe if he has an ace, he's never pulled in anyway versus a raise. Whereas he may take my raise as being extremely polar and just shove like Queen 8 offsuit, just like thinking I'm being crazy. And he's also going to call like Queen 5 suited when I raise myself. So I think it's a good spot for me to go for a raise non all in. Uh, hand it's such a great hand. I have such a good stack where it's nicer also. It also means that he can shove less on me because I have more hands in my value range. If I expand my value range to suited broadways, then it means he can't just shove on me with like queen fives and king fives all the time because I'm gonna have enough value combos in my range. So yeah, I believe it's good to expand my range for that, as well as the post flop edge, not edge, the post flop edge my hand has against his range, not myself against him. Yeah, Girep opens off 17, ace seven suited gets called by, well, get shoved on calls with the ace seven versus ace three. And Papan is, I would rather shove ace three offsuit and just call ace three suited. I think ace three suited. You want to be like somewhat careful against this 17 big blind raising range. Your hand plays well post flop. It's nice to have some ace x in your range. Ace nine suited, I'm going to go for a raise. Again, I don't expect him to give me much EV by isolating wide, so I need to start putting chips in myself. And being out of position here, I want to use a large sizing so that he doesn't get such a good price to call his 9-7 offsuit. Even though he may call his 9-7, I just want to charge him for the luxury of doing so. And yeah, 8-5 off, 40 folds. I could open 8-5 off. Wouldn't say it's terrible. I think it's nice that they have some collision effect as well between them. But yeah, I'm also raising into two guys who have this guy to worry about, so probably I can open extremely wide. But yeah, tank call by Akari. It's going to be an interesting one. Have a straight here. Might check on the flop, which is interesting as well. I think probably Giraffe wants to play quite passive on the turn too, because Akari's going to check his 10-8s and 10-9s and a lot, even some 7-6x on the flop too. Call this. Min raise blind versus blind, and I have 12 big blinds. I'm sure that's about. I mean, my hand is so good, but like, what's this? I'll shove, I guess. I mean, this doesn't make too much sense. I'm gonna pull this over here now, but this doesn't make too much sense to me. But yes, I shove. Kings shot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe it's good. Maybe I punt it off or do whatever. Gonna open another tournament too. Gonna open this 8-5 suited. He's probably going to shove on me less often after he just in his mind may think that it looks like he punted or something. So he may shove on me less often than he would have done like an orbit ago or something. Just go into up some tables. I don't want to get check raised on this flop. It's a board I really don't want to get check raised on because he's going to check raise quite wide and shove, and I can't just bet call. Just busted a few tournaments. Oh, still in. So I'm going to go for a check back, and I'm going to shove over a turn, I guess. I'm going to pot the turn. I'm going to pot the turn, which makes 6x and 4x in a difficult spot. I have equity when he shoves, and yeah, I think 6 and 4 is in a tough spot. If I have a king here, I would also play exactly the same. Nice. Make some ace highs fold, which may get sticky for no reason. So yeah, I think it's good. 4 and 6x is in a tough spot there. I'm only value betting a king, so I may as well go for that big polar size. And any pair in the flop, I would just bet stack off. Like a 6, I'd bet stack. A jack, I'm bet stacking. Pocket 10s, I'm bet stacking. So sound like Vod can't. Or whoever could stack him to the top. 6-2 off versus a 12 big blind limp. I think I can either go this or I can go check. Or I can maybe go like this or check. I'm gonna go check this time. Got a gutter. He connects quite well with his like jack fours and his eight fours and stuff like that. I'm gonna check too. I can call a turn bet. Okay, interesting. Goes for a big bet. We have a gutter. Two of diamonds blocks some hands like 7-2 of diamonds. You could have limp stuff like that, I guess. Just gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Ooh. So okay, that's good news. I will have some limps here. I think this A7 is an okay one to put into the limp. Looks quite weak after I've raised like a few times. That's also good. It strengthens my limping range here. I'll go for a check. If you, I was just thinking what I would do if you shoved. You would have ace deuce off plus, and you would have like king. You should probably have 7-8 suited, which I dominate. King 7 suited, which I dominate. So it would be close. Would be close against Ben Dobson over here. An ace here, I'm going to go for an overbet. He should have mostly. He should have mostly like king highs, queen highs as bluff catchers. I think he'll call them quite often versus like one big blind, so I want to use the bigger size in. And yeah, just thinking about doing this. I think yeah, just making this bigger. Or maybe not. Good 9C, I'm going to raise call. I mean, if anyone shoves on me here, I'm pretty happy. If Giraffe shoves on me, I'm still happy. He would induce 10s plus, so I'm free rolling him. He'll have under pairs or two overs or like ace 5. All right, we take it down. We'll defend passively against everyone, but they should really play so tight, these two guys, because they want this guy to shove really wide. I have no ICM, so I should gamble wide against him if I have like Jack 10 or whatever. But I get a walk because he also knows I'm going to gamble quite wide, so it's a good spot for me. I should win, pre-flop there pretty frequently. Jira has a really tough time ICM wise against me, so I think having a polarized raising range and including 70s off in that polar one is pretty good. I filled out king 2, queen 2, 7-4, 7-3, lots of hands which do very well against me. Easy fold now. Interesting Giraffe if he should like stop and go in these spots or he should just shove. Because if this guy's shoving, let's say 9-8 suited, and then you get him to fold like 25% equity or 30% equity on some boards, it's definitely a consideration, I think. But I haven't really studied it, so I'm not sure. I'm going to induce pocket tens here. Quick raise looks weak, I believe. Ace 2, the 9-10 gets there, Queen 10 gets there, Queen 9 gets there. He shouldn't have 9-7 from the small blind. He's going to have some strong hands. I'm just going to fold. This is good for. Giraffe free bets non-win, which is really kind of weird. Oh, wow. Akari shoves. This is fucked up. So Giraffe is priced in call Akari. Akari shouldn't just snap shove nines. Like nines is a consideration for him. He should definitely consider with nines. I have time bank, so I can take my time. Tens is a strong hand here. My image is extremely wide. Giraffe is going to go after me, but not too wide. Lots of Giraffe's aggression is going to come from ace X hands like ace 9 off, ace 8 off, stuff like that. But a lot of his aggression is just going to be shoves like queen 10 suited and stuff, queen jack suited. So I believe his range should be quite strong. So Akari can't just commit with like pocket sevens with no fold equity. So Akari should be very strong, at least two overcards or like a higher pocket pair. So I'm going to fold my tens. Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Whew. Jeez. Jeez. Good fold, I guess. Value betting here. Just king X. Shoving here is okay, actually. Ah, yeah, that was pretty interesting. That was an interesting hand. It's pretty sick cooler, right? Tens, queens, kings, like back to back to back. just like for Kari there, I really feel like he should take some more time when he shoves pre-flop. Like because he shoves so quickly, I believe he just doesn't have like eights and nines in his range. Just like, oh yeah, this guy's committed to call me off. I'm gonna shove the nuts rather than oh this ICM. Like how much does that guy have? How much does that guy have? It's good to be consistent with your timings. I think. Everyone play how you want to play. I'm just saying what I think. I'm gonna check flop here. Play quite check heavy. I'm gonna raise a lot of 4x pre-flop as in my polarized kind of raising strategy. Turn out value bets. I believe he won't slow play 4x on the flop, I don't think. I'm gonna value bet river too. My kicker is pretty good. I would check like 8-5, but jack 5, queen 5, king 5, ace 5. I'm gonna go for a bet. Don't raise me, that would suck. Maybe like 7-8 wants to raise. 6-7, I bet the flop. Getting raised would suck, but it would be very bizarre too. Like maybe 6-3 off or something. That could isolate, it could bet the flop. King 7, we're gonna go for a raise. May get shoved on here very wide. I wouldn't raise super wide here because when I fold, small blind goes all in like, 50-60%. This flop I'm gonna check back. He's gonna bluff aggressively on a 4 and a 9. I don't really want to get check shoved on. I don't make he's gonna shove king queen, king jack pre-flops. I don't make these hands fold. So I think this is a pretty nice one to check back flop with. I get to call the turn as well. I could even shove the turn potentially. I think just call turn's good. He checks. I don't make a 5 fold. I don't make an 8 fold. I don't make a 6 fold. He shoves ace x pre-flop. So I'm just going to check. I can win. I can win. Start second. Okay. I can win. I think he might bet 5 on the turn. He's going to bet 6 on the turn pretty often. That's an interesting bet. That's an interesting bet, my friend. It's an interesting bet, my friends. Hmm. What does he have? 5? I think like it looks like I have ace high or king high, right? So would you not bet bigger for value with like a full house after he hasn't had much value so far? You can have an 8. But even an 8 may bet the turn or the river bigger potentially too. Looks like an 8 or kind of nothing. I'm gonna call, I guess. A 5. Okay. Kind of a weird one, I think. But yeah, good. I mean, he got paid, right? He got paid, so it's good. It's a good bet. I would have folded a bigger bet, so he got like the max value against me, so that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind to look up there. Also good for me to see he's defending 5-4 offsuit pre-flop. I can make some adjustments against that now moving forward as well. And I get some information kind of on his turn strategy in general, how he views, some different stuff. Didn't need flop with a certain combination, stuff like that. So yeah, I believe that I'll pay for the info. You always want to justify. I mean, yeah, I pay. I find out how his flop strategy is. That's like a quarter of a big blind. I find out how his turn strategy is. That's another big blind. And I even find out how he plays pre-flop. Fantastic. I'll pay that man his money. Would have paid him 2.5. I'm gonna start betting this flop. I'll probably go bet check. I imagine ace 10 is going to always ISO big blind. Yeah, I think bet check is still okay. He's going to have enough jack of hearts X, queen 2 with the 2 of hearts, lots of hands which will just call check. He's going to have some worse kings potentially. So yeah, I think it's very tough for him to have bluffs now. Like he has to turn ace of hearts X into a bluff or 10 of hearts X. Sure, he can have 10 of hearts X, but like 10 nines are straight. He can only have 10-8, 10-7, 10-6, 10-3, 10-2. There's a few of them, but he has a lot of value combos versus that. So I'm going to go for a check fold. Unless he bets like 2 big blinds, he could value bet worse. He bets 5.2. His value betting range here should be 2 pair plus, I believe. But yeah, I'm going to go for a. I should have bet over here to make king queen fold. I'm going to go for a fold. I also blocked 10-8, which could be like he may raise pre-flop. He probably will raise pre-flop with like 10-2 and 10-3 as like as a polarizing I'm going to fold here as a polarizing raising strategy. So 10-7, 10-8, maybe these are hands you could potentially have. I have an 8. Like, I'm okay folding, no problem. No problem. I believe betting the turn is good. It's funny whenever you say like, yeah, I believe this was good, because obviously when you do something, you think it's good, right? It's like, oh, I think this is bad, I'm going to do it. So it's like when you try to justify it afterwards, like just obviously, it's like I should just be more like, yeah, like I did that because I think it's good. It's a weird one. So payouts are 2015 11 or 2015 12. We have this guy to just try to wait out a bit, but also try to use our chip stack to leverage so that when we get the heads up, we have a higher chance of winning. Gonna fold here. Jack 5, I'm gonna play limp. It's just not great to raise. He's not gonna fold Jack 7 or Jack 8. Maybe raise Jack 2, folds Jack 3, Jack 4, Jack 5, potentially. Queen 5, King 5, maybe, but Jack 5 doesn't do too much for me. Start with the check, kind of middling pair, feels just quite natural, check call, have some decent hands in this check call range. 10x may want to bet flop. Check, check. I'll check again. I'll probably go for a bet on the river. If he has a free, he's going to value bet himself, but like 7-4, this beats me. There's not much he can really bluff with. I'm just going to bet myself. Just going to call the free. Again, my kicker's quite good. If I had like no kicker, I may go consider checking. But yeah. Could go for a larger raise size. This guy's standing maybe a little bit too wide. Maybe it's good, like whatever. Like it's completely okay. 5-4 offsuits are good. Pre-flop defend in hand. Just he is defending those hands, so maybe I want to raise my sizings a little bit more. Defend, queen check off passively, and I can check call having 3 to a straight versus 1/3. If he sizes it to half pot, I will consider folding. Check, check. Jack of hearts makes it attractive to bet. But I'm gonna go for a check. He's very ace high heavy, I guess. I block jacks and queens, which is really good for me to bet. He's most likely check bluff catch is pocket queens and pocket jacks. So blocking both of them feels like it's just probably mandatory and unblocking ace high. So I'm gonna go for the large sizing, which is good. Get a fold, and I would size like any king like that. I would size an 8 also pretty large. So if he shoves, I would reshove. Blind versus blind. This will go into my raising range rather than my limping range. Fold, we'll take it. Fold this. Small blind will shove like 50-60%. Big blind, almost anything you want to limp, he'll shove, but he may just limp like really wide, like 6-4 off and all of these hands as well, which is going to be pretty good. Against like these kind of guys from Russia, they do fight. They're blind versus blinds quite aggressively, have lots of small raises and stuff. So you do get away with it a lot less than you would other players, but obviously having lots of limps is like still part of a really good theoretical strategy too. So there's some optional graphics. That's too much for me. By the way, my full focus right now is on this table, so I've maybe making some sloppy mistakes. Like I should have opened this king ace deuce off. I guess I didn't see that. I may have been making different sides in here. I've just been, free-handed. I'm just trying to focus here, especially when you're talking and saying your thought process. It's not like you're like I may have be trying to explain what I was thinking 10 seconds ago, whilst there's a decision under the table. Whereas I already know what I'm thinking when I'm playing normally. So if I'm making some like mistakes on this table, on these tables, or doing like random stuff, don't hate me. Don't hate on me for it too much. If I make really big mistakes here, then hate on me. That's fine. We'll defend passively, queen nine off versus both players. even if it's like 3.5x. Slightly slower open from Giraffe, which is interesting. Versus small blind, we're gonna have some get check raise sometimes, but betting to make some pocket pairs is okay as well. Hand plays okay as multi-street bluff as well. Free to a straight, free to a flush feels tough to fold, especially if the queen of spades as well. When the backdoor spades roll in, we get to bluff it as well. I believe we can call, but I believe it's also like super close. We also get some opportunities to like lead a four or a five as well. I'm going to check the jack. On on blanks, I think I'm going to just not bluff. I believe that I am perceived to have a lot of 4, 5, 5, 6 diamonds, etc. So I want to bluff without a diamond at least. Like I would bluff queen ten of spades or something, queen nine of spades, but I want to be somewhat disciplined with my river bluffs here when there's so many bluffs out there. Could win. He could have like 9, 10 as well. Block queens, I block king queen, I block king nine suited, queen nine off. Yeah, I win here like enough of the time. He's gonna have a lot of just give ups too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would have this hand in my limping range rather than my raising range. I'm not gonna make queen seven, queen eight fold. I don't think going 3.5x. So I think this one limp calling is okay. I actually dominate a lot of his raising range like 5-4, 5-3, 5-2, 10-5, stuff like that as well. He may not raise like queen 10 and queen 9, stuff like that. So I do okay versus a raising range anyway. On this flop, we're going to go for a bet. We'll bet quite a lot. Yeah. Check free, it's close, but I think it's as with the way the stack sizes are, I think it's just strong enough to open. Giraffe isn't going to want to have too many shoves, too many free bet folds, too many cold calls. I get to play against a big blind. I don't mind that too much. It's a board where I don't want to face a shove on. I could maybe shove myself potentially. I'm trying to think about that. Do I want to open shove? Does that make any sense? Do I want to bet fold? I don't want to bet fold. I don't want to bet fold. I'm gonna go for check. I'm really unsure. I'm really unsure. I mean, like shoving doesn't really do too much. Like he's not falling 10-9 anyway, probably. So like I don't really achieve too much by shoving. That calling is a bit dicey. I get it in against better hands and draws with really good equity. That folding when he is going to shove those draws doesn't feel attractive either. So I feel like going for the check back makes a lot of sense. Call the turn, of course. It's not a bad river. He's going to know there's a lot of bluffs here. There's 10-9, Jack 10, Jack 9, 5x, 6x spades, etc., etc. So he's going to know there's lots of bluffs here. So he is also going to be quite disciplined with his river bluffing frequencies. I feel like my hand is not a great bluff catcher. I block Jack 10, I block Jack 9. My free doesn't offer too much stuff. Like he's going to shove pocket frees pre-flop. So I believe my hand is not a good bluff catcher. I'd rather bluff catch like ace king than jack free, or even ace five or ace six blocking some straights. So yeah, I'm gonna fold this one quite not happily because you're never happy folding, but I think it's a not a wise fold. I'm not trying to call myself one of the three wise men, but I believe it's just like a fold. Check and flop here. This is min bet. It's close with the backdoor flush draw, overcard to the eight. I think versus min bet, I just have the pot odds to call, potentially raise. Versus larger than min bet, I probably just fold. I will fold versus that. Ace 8 here, we're gonna go for min bet himself. GX7 can go into limp or raise, I believe, but probably limp in slightly better. Michael Deanline, don't know that guy. See a limp from the button, which is just interesting. Like I'm not going to do too much shoving when he raises, so I think he can. If we all have 20 big blinds, having limping maybe makes more sense. But when we're so deep covering, I think we should have more just raises. To be honest, King Queen off here. It's kind of interesting because I don't want to like raise and then get back shoved on and like fold a hand with like 40% equity, getting good pot odds. My hand dominates these hands as well, so I don't mind overcalling. I'd rather squeeze maybe like Jack 8 suited where I can fold out Jack 10, Jack Queen, while still having some good playability post flop too. Turn here, it's close between checking and betting. I'm against two ranges, remember, so I'm going to go for a check. Okay, I will call a bet from Papan. Uh, I'll check the river too. Like Papan shouldn't really have too much ace X. It's just kind of a strange hand. Kind of a strange hand. Wow. The Jack of Spades not great for me. A lot of the hands he could have would be like Jack 10, Jack Queen that he doesn't want to like raise full or something. The 7 doesn't do anything for me really either because, you know, 7's just going to bet earlier. 7's wouldn't play like this. I'm going to fold. There's also a guy to act after me who can reopen the action too. All right, Papan, you get this one through, my friend. Straight here. I'm going to check, raise, all in. I don't have bluffs. I have to turn like nines. Well, nines I'd shove pre-flop. I have to turn like something into a bluff to bet this river. This is a board where, again, I'm probably going to want to check back this hand. I want to face a raise. So I'm going to check this one back. Get to call the turn, 2 overs and the nut gutter. Yeah, and important to get a check raise in when he does have queen 10 or 8. He may check back turn with pocket aces, etc. So, but yeah, this is interesting. I definitely get to call the turn here for sure, and we're going to sweat it out together like last time from left to right. First of all, we're going to go for his own bet, see what he does. If he goes all in, we can then sweat it. If not, we may shove any river anyway. He is sweating. What is he going to do? He's taking his time, so it might be an interesting river card. If he goes all in, I'll have to like look kind of quickly just in case I'm slow rolling him that like small percentage of the time. Can't sweat it too low, too strong. The pot's 4 on the river. No spade in my hand. I guess I have to turn this one into a bluff. I have a lot of 7x that I just wouldn't want to bet full flop with. So I'm going to go for a bet. Straight. So we'll go in, I guess. 17, 34, 54. 34, 44. He would be close to triple leader, but I think this puts the most pressure on his hands. He's going to have a straight himself, though, sometimes. It's a tough spot, but it's a tough spot for what river size I want to use myself. I think this one is quite. I think shoving just does when he has so much straights he can play like this. I don't think shoving is good. I think this size works really well against like one pair hands or slightly better hands like King 10 or King Jack. They just bet the turn or like Ace 3 or whatever. Just decided to bet. Maybe a rivered 4, something like this. I don't need to shove against a 4. I think like half pot makes sense. I don't want to raise this. He should have a polarized range here. There's no reason for me to raise fold or raise call this hand. So I'm going to check it back. Flop the nuts. If he checks, it's bizarre because he should probably have most. He should probably range bet, I guess. But then again, he's going to shove most ace X. I'm going to check ace X back. I actually have the most ace X here out of any of us, I think. And I have all the flushes as well, so it doesn't make any sense to range bet activate. I'm going to check back the flop. Going to check back the flop. Going to have lots of check folds. I'm going to, play quite checker here as well. I may get like two bets out of him with like no equity hand, like 9-10 offsuit or something. The turn here, I'm gonna bet small enough that he'll check raise for value with like somewhat thinly. River, I'm going to bet myself. He shouldn't have. He can have some queen jack. I block the king, which is like kind of weird in terms of pairs. Like if I had like queen nine of hearts, or like let's say I had like nine seven of hearts, for whatever reason, I'm probably more inclined to go really big. I'm gonna make it look like a desperation bet here. So I'm gonna let the time bank go down to like 5 seconds and look like I'm rushing into a bet and going for a big size because last time I did the same thing. And yeah, I'm betting pretty polar here. And yeah, get a quick call. So that's good. So what he had, he had 10-4 rivered two pair. So yeah, these are the kind of hands though. Like I think if I do bet the flop and bet the turn, he's gonna fold a 4 and 8. But if I do check back the flop, he'll like end up being suspicious or whatever. So he can obviously never fold this hand. And again, like his hand is only a bluff catcher on the river. He doesn't he doesn't beat any value hands. I'm not value betting like 2x pot with ace two off or something. I'm shoving with those hands pre-flop anyway. I'm not value betting a king for that size, and so he's not loving life with 10-4 and I go 2x pot. So um, I also allow him to just like turn pairs. Like when I check the flop, let's say he has 10-3 of diamonds, I allow him to turn a 10 or a 3 and whatever else to happen. So um, I like checking back the flop. I know it's not like necessarily standard, but I feel like it works pretty well. 5-2 off just doesn't play well. There's no reason for Giraffe to be wise here. Like this guy's going to be all in so often. So I feel like my timing also, yeah. He had two pairs, so it doesn't matter too much. But I like the hand. Raise the jack five. You should fold a lot. I'll bet half pot to make queen jack fold, jack 10 fold, jack 9 fold. Have a backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. I think my size is quite efficient, quite nice. Jack two off, we're going to fold. This should go shove very often and call pretty often. He doesn't want to chip down. I will call blind versus blind for 8 with king 5 off. This is limp. I think king 5 is a good one to shove. It's like decent raw equity hand, but it doesn't realize its equity too well by checking. So if he has a ace 10 suited, he may go for a limp call anyway, but he's just gonna have too many folds there. I'm gonna just call here if he shoves and try to get Giraffe to shove so we can end the tournament now. This makes it a little bit more dicey. I'm gonna min free bet. I think this is also quite efficient. I can have some folds like this potentially. All right, do well against that. Oh, it's a bad flop. Good turn. Not bad. It's weird when you have bad feelings, isn't it? Sometimes you need to just keep the morale high. It's okay. He's back up to 250. I will call a shove, king queen. I've been checking back a lot on flops against him, and he's been probing really wide. I'm gonna go for a bet. He could definitely have some raises here potentially, but I think just this board doesn't make sense for me to have any checks. It's not a board where he's gonna raise draws aggressively or anything. Like an 8-6-5 board, he's incentivized to shove a lot. On queen 4-2, he's incentivized to check raise rather than to have shoves. Queen 4, I'm gonna fold versus Giraffe. Kind of suspicious that he's opening quite a bit. Maybe he's opening a bit too wide. He's opening off 13 big blinds here. I'm just going to shove my ace jack. Obviously, when I get called, I'm not in good shape, but my hand just is good enough to do this with. Ace free up, I'm going to raise. I really don't want to get shoved on from the big blind here, but could happen. Could happen. Just seeing what's going on over here. Let's start and stack. It's a hyper, so I'm just need to pay attention to the instant flop here. I feel like he's not going to shove as much on this flop. I think I just range bet. I feel like a 10, like 10-8's not shoving the flop, yeah. I will call this shove. We'll take a shove. 8, queen. Fives. Okay, we'll flip against fives. Oh, this guy's decent at this. I want to have just a. I want to proceed just by raising here, I think. I'm going to shove actually, make it look like a draw. I think that's the best thing to do. When this guy's so shallow, I'm not going to raise none all in. All right, he's back up now to 250 again. It's okay. We will keep grinding him down. Yeah, I'm trying to have a draw here in my range. Like, I'm not going to raise like king 8 with the king of clubs when we're so shallow. Yeah, get stacking a sevens, obviously, pretty good result for us. Next time I'm gonna throw something. Throw one of these, or one of these maybe. Ace Jack off, easy all in. 6-4 off. Could ISO, but I'd like a high card mostly. If he bets flop, I could go for a raise, but let's have a look at the size and let's just we'll go for the raise. I think it's good. Look at the size and I have the chip lead. I can put these kind of aggressive plays in. You know, if he wants to start free bet folding the flop or putting really the third bet in, he can do that. It's fine. I'm risking a little bit. I'm leveraging the stack sizes a little bit out of blind, but it's okay. Wrap around. I can improve on 3, a 5, 7. He free bets, which is. Should we just go for one of these now? The old me always would do that, by the way. Always. I would never have the discipline not to click it back there. King Queen suited doesn't want to get shoved on by the big blind because it's going to be very ace-x dense, and we don't really want to flip the 30 big blinds. So we're going to go for a limp against that. Get free bet from the small blind. Small blind free bet is typically going to be lots of like Jack 10 suited, Jack 9 suited, just hands which are taking the aggression rather than the big blind. So I'm going to go for a shove with ace queen. Offsuit hands. Yeah, expect lots of folds there. King Queen down here, we're going to go for check call. This is good phase range, I think. King River, I think we go for check raise. We're only really concerned about 2-pair, like King 3, King 2, King 6, King 8. A lot of them will bet the flop of the turn sometimes, so if he bets, I'm definitely going to raise. And also, you could just bluff, like, whatever. I'm going to go for Jack 3. I may have called that anyway. Jack 3, sorry, aces I'm going for call. That's a really bad run out. Jesus. This is shove, fold. Versus check, I feel like I should shove. I feel like he's going to just shove himself with 2 parallel straight, and he never has ace king, so I unblock his king x bluff catches like king queen, king jack, king 10. So I'm gonna shove here, but it's really close. It's really close, but I feel like it's a good shove. Like, I just feel 2-pair getting into this river will shove. So yeah. Going to take my break.
Switching from my life to yours and slowing down. I'm not straightforward, but tell you everything. A part of me is in you, a part of you is in me. A little bit of tension sometimes doesn't hurt. Your best friend, nothing will break us, I'm sure. You're opening my eyes, thank you for what you shared. Saw that thing so beautiful. She just hit my heart, oh. Full force and she got me like, I be like, baby, why you so fine? Got to make you mine. So hard to find. They be like, oh, how'd you do the thing? The way that you do it and she ain't even show nothing. She be walking around so confident, so heaven sent. I think she was meant to knock them daylight. Like, girl, you so fine. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Girl, you rockin' like, she was so sublime, super fine. She was never lying, strutting in the heels or her slides. Either way, eyes on her every single day, week, year. Everyone wondering how she does it with no fear. All that confidence, was it heaven sent? Does it come within? Does it come run out? I don't know. She'll just have them running out and in. Man, they want to sin, talking deadly sin with Mrs. Lady. I don't understand why she hit them like, hey, like, girl, you knock 'em dead. Oh, oh, oh. How you do the things you do? Yeah, yeah. Baby, you knock 'em dead. I'm already said. Oh, drama, 'cause I never know what the ending's like. I love the drama, 'cause I never know what the ending's like. I love the drama, 'cause I never know what the ending's like. Fifth in my room, I'm alone and playing loud. I'ma stay here so long, I can't feel time. This room is on fire, my heart's beating louder. Black keys, white keys, best friends understand. Talking about it, never hide anything. This room is on fire, my heart's beating louder. This room is on fire, my heart's beating louder. This room is on fire, my heart's speaking loud. never thought it'd be this. I'm jumping out of your arms. I land and fall in the pit. Is this what they call the abyss? I fought and clawed for an inch, turning a miracle mile. I could recall when your lips used to contort into smiles. Bright as the sun, was drawn in eclipse. I haven't seen light in a while. Hasn't been bright in a while. Risk. Even if you mad at me, you don't wanna give me clarity. Testament to your character. On your birthday, you told me to donate money to charity. You want me to sincerity. Ain't got cake like Sarah Lee. You tether me when my stress start burying me. You don't wanna take care of me. I'm so gone. In conclusion, foregone. Where war zone is torn on. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready for your bed. I just want my head rub. I don't want a mixtape. I just want the best of. I just want to get grub from my spot again. But through the odds working, our favor stay down. Escape town. Head low and face down like a kennel greyhound. Doing God's work in the devil's playground. Risk. I never thought it'd be this. I'm jumping out of your arms. I land and fall in the pit. Is this what they call the abyss? I fought and clawed for an inch, turning a miracle mile. I could recall when your lips used to contort into smiles. Bright as the sun, it's drawn in eclipse. I haven't seen light in a while. Hasn't been bright in a while. Risk. Wish you pick up all my calls. I've been going through withdrawals, trying to take the edge off. I need Novocaine. I've been trying to stand tall. I hope that you stand with me. You know all the greats fall. Shit is all the same. Hot as napalm. Next day, come the rain. Gotta stay calm. Press play, put my heart in all of these songs. Display all of these wrongs. Yeah, part of me is gone. And you are a gift in itself. A measure of wealth. The meaning is selfless. I place you over the shelf and hide the pedestals over the belt. Straddle the waist on rods constellate. Observation of you. Here come the truth, I'm most overdue. Stuck over you, I've gone under. Living proof of God's wonders. Risk. I never thought it'd be this. I'm jumping out of your arms. I land and fall in the pit. Is this what they call the abyss? I fought and clawed for an inch, turning a miracle mile. I could recall when your lips used to contort into smiles. Bright as the sun, it's drawn in eclipse. I haven't seen light in a while. Hasn't been bright in a while.
Brother, we don't speak much. Brother, we've been through a lot. Inside of us, we know. It's been a while ago, alongside Happy Road. Our shells ain't open yet. Will our feelings ever show? I hope you learn to love. Trust me, you've been a milestone. Brother, brother. inside we know. Oh. You feel when it's right, you feel when it's wrong. I love you so I write you a song. I gave you shame, I was a clown. You made me who I am now. Spreading kindness all around. One day I will hold you tight. Brother, brother.
way it flows, I love the way it grows. There's something in this sound that takes me far. It's like a special song, can move my mood along. What I cannot say you'll hear through my guitar. She told me at the bass line, and everything will be alright. She told me that the groove is mine, and it will take us through the night. And where I go, can't explain, I'll never know, but it's beautiful. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. I love the way it sings, all the joy that it brings. Remember skating down the road towards the park. I could never say no, you with that summer glow. The music gives me sun when winter starts. She told me at the bass line, and everything will be alright. She told me that the groove is mine, and it will take us through the night. And where I go, can't explain, I'll never know, but it's beautiful. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. It's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. Away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me.
I'm into ride this ocean, traveling in slow motion, paddling with no question, early morning with the sun, not yet burning innocent, I try to be a good son, myself 100%. Oh, inside, I wanna reach that. It's somewhere inside. wish I reached that skyline. Skyline. I'm gonna reach that skyline. Skyline. Endless troubles to go through. They're strewn in the city. Daily struggle to be true. Betray authenticity. Poison well around, but still I will take another round or another ride until we take off from the ground. I feel it inside. I wanna reach that. It's somewhere inside. I wish I reached that. Reach that skyline. Skyline. I wanna reach that skyline. Skyline. I wish I reached that skyline. Skyline. I wanna reach that skyline. Skyline.
this darkness. She was heartless in every way. I'm losing my way. Way through this darkness. She was heartless in every way. I'm losing my way. Losing my way through this darkness. She was heartless in every way. I'm losing my way. I'm losing my way through this darkness. She was heartless in every way. I'm losing my way.
Do